Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week, where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten, and the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher, and the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to World Premiere Word on the Streets. Ladies and gentlemen, we call this platform World Premiere Word on the Streets because we have a word for you. And on our platform, ladies and gentlemen, we have the amazing Mr. Keith Fletcher. If you don't know him, check out The Blind Truth. That's right, folks. He have a YouTube channel called The Blind Truth. But you could catch him at least 2 or 3 times a week on Facebook, where he's touching the lives of hundreds of people. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so fortunate to have the amazing Keith Fletcher.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing out there? How you doing? How you doing?
And ladies and gentlemen, it just keep getting better. It just keep getting better. We're fortunate to have the man with the voice of reason, the man who have inspired and led so many young people, being a coach in his community. And he bring that coaching ability, that reasoning, that seriousness about him to this platform, not only for us, but more importantly, for you. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for the man with the voice of reason, Mr. Vincent Craig. And ladies and gentlemen, I am extraordinaire. I bring purpose and passion because I believe once you find your purpose, the passion will drive you to your destiny. And the three of us together, we're bringing you live the world premiere Word on the Street. Now, gentlemen, let's get it on. Let's get it on. So good to see you brothers today. Vincent, what's happening, my brother?
Get set up, man. Get set up, man.
I can't hear you, Vincent. What's going on with you?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Vince can't hear you, Vince. I'm glad everything going good, man. How about you, Stratton? Dealing with this heat. Vince,
Right.
You know, we're
Right.
dealing with the weather too, man, over that. The river we're talking about, man, what happened to the people, man. It's very
Sorry
sad.
about that. Sorry about that.
There you go. I was just getting ready to text you, my brother. We are live, folks. This is live. Make no bones about it. But we're here for you. And we're just coming on live right now. So you just pulled up. You at the right place at the right time. So let's catch up, man. What's going on, brothers?
Go ahead, man.
Just glad to be here. Wanting to just jump into this topic and subject because I know it's something that I've dealt with. And to be honest with you, still deal with from time to time, depending on what it is. I have to be truthful about it, right? So
Yes. Yeah. Y'all see what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, on that introduction when we said the man with the voice of reason and brings seriousness. Yes, sir. He right off the bat, he tell us right off the bat, he been waiting to talk. He been waiting to chop this thing up. And folks, if you're wondering what he's referring to, tonight's topics, we're gonna be talking about procrastination, how to get unstuck and how to move forward. And this is look, hey, my brother Vincent, it's not just you, my brother. If you hit a dog on the tail, he'll bark, he'll holler. Well, I'm one of those dogs that you just hit on the tail as well, because if truth be told, if truth be told, friends, we probably all deal with some of that procrastination every now and then in our life. And some of us just having a lot more, dealing with a lot more worse than others. But the truth is, we tend to lag behind doing things that we know we should do, ought to do. Eventually we get there and we do it, but at what delay and what cost? So we're gonna chop that up. So and we know Fletcher, Mr. Motivator himself, we brother, you're gonna come in and you're gonna help us out on this conversation. But Vincent, since you said you've been kind of, chewing on this, why don't you start us off, man, talking about this thing that people are dealing with, procrastination.
let me see, procrastination. If I can give you a little peek into my world, as far as when it comes to me, one of the things that helps me to deal with procrastination, and a lot of it is just fear, right? Of like we say things, but Keith is known for saying, you got to get your mind right. For me, the procrastination, I've tried to put a stop to it because right now I have to hold myself accountable and I have to tie myself to people that hold me accountable. Uh, One way that I do that is I have a vision board uh, sitting right here in front of me. I have a slot for me, slot for my wife, and a slot for my youngest. Since he was still in the house, first part of the year. We just like to put our dreams on there, things that we want to accomplish, things that we want to get better at. Because a lot of times we just kind of say stuff, but we just continue. There's an old saying: we lie to ourselves more than we lie to anyone. So when that's happening, I have to look at this board and it allows me to hold myself accountable. My wife looks at it, she holds me accountable, or I'll look at something in her column and I help hold her accountable, to keep the procrastination down to like a bare minimum, right? And again, like I said earlier, sometimes we procrastinate the biggest things, the smallest things. It's just sometimes I have to get out of my own way. And sometimes the procrastination is hindered by fear,
Mhm.
the fear to go after things, the fear to want to do something. So we say it right. Everyone wants to be a star, but they don't want to put in the work, right? So for me, it's just a time that I've had to take accountability, right? And again, I told you, my ex-wife told me a long time ago, she called me a hypocrite, right? And I was looking back at the journal after the divorce or during the separation, and it's like I said I was going to get better at this, but I'm still, struggling with it up until now, as I say, to cut that cord of failure and fear and the strongholds, right? So the procrastination can come in many forms, right? You say you want to go out to the gym. Keith and I are around the same age, right? He's a little bit older than me, couple years, right, Keith? Uh,
Yep.
and we'll see each other, and we'll always joke about the gym and stuff. And sometimes it takes me and Keith getting into some competition to help me to stop procrastinating about how much I want to get back in the gym, how much I want to work back out. Sometimes you got to have that person around you that's going to light that fire, right? Me and Keith not trying to win any fitness competitions at our age, right? So at this point, the camaraderie, one brother iron is sharpening another iron, right? And we kind of push each other to help us stop procrastinating about, you've been telling me this for a long time, but I don't see any results or I don't see you going, right? So didn't mean to be long-winded, but that's one of the ways that I deal with procrastination. By putting a vision board, holding myself accountable, writing it down, looking at it, and I open up my Bible. With certain things that I like to write about. Hopefully that it'll manifest. After I keep going, reading the word daily, and I'll see the reminders. Okay, I need to work on this. Okay, I need to work on this. And I got some stuff on my board. Daily prayer, drink more water, at least 100 push-ups every morning. Uh, what is it? Less junk food, more mental relaxation, things like that are on my board that I have to just see in front of me on a daily basis to help me stop procrastinating. Now, I don't want it to be like a treadmill, right? And just sit there and just holding up some clothes, right? It has to be utilized. I have to get used to it because I don't want to just sit up there and just start dusting it off. So that's how I.
Man, man, that is some really good information that I'm sure somebody can get some of that slice, some of what you were saying and apply in their own personal life. What you got, what you said, I just want to share just a slice of that. This thing I'm doing right here, you mentioned the word fear. Fear is behind a lot of our procrastination. It says that over 80 to 95% of students live in procrastination. And I know that's true, going to college, you would know an exam, the instructor would let you know the exam when it will be taking place. It may be a month and a half from the date he says, but I procrastinated like most other students procrastinated right up until a couple of days before the exam. And then now when you're going into the exam room, the tension is so high you can cut it with a knife as you walk down the hall. And the reason why you can cut it with a knife is because there's so much fear in the hallway. You can feel it. You can feel it. But moving forward in my present life today, me being right here in front of this camera, coming to all of you all live, was in a way it was a sense of fear behind to come in front of a camera. Even though I was communicating live, but I was doing it on radio. So you didn't have to see my face. The confidence level was higher. But when you have to show your face, for me anyway, I only can speak for myself. See, a lot of people don't even have a problem with this, and a lot of us do. But I had to overcome that fear. And by overcoming that fear, this is going to help somebody. It really will. Facing fear will help you overcome some of your procrastination issues. Because as the more I came before this camera, and I'm gonna tell you another thing that grew out of this thing here of not in front of the camera. You see, when you're not in front of the camera, and you mentioned you would team up with Keith or someone else, when you're not teaming up with someone or you're not out front and you saying things to yourself, you're not being held accountable. But when you attach someone else in this thing, see, coming before this camera, I had to show up even when I didn't want to because I didn't want to let my counterpartner down, which at the time was Fletcher. Fletcher gonna be there. Fletcher's waiting, man. We got a show to do. Now, had I been by myself and I was doing the show by myself, I'm gonna be honest with you all. That show wasn't gonna happen.
Hmm.
it was not going to happen because fear would have given me the the excuse I needed not to show up. But it's something about when you have someone that you can be accountable to, will also help you overcome your fear and will move you forward from fear and facing your procrastination. I know in an indirect way, it may not even seem like I'm making sense, but I hope I'm making sense. Fletcher, if I miss a few dots, maybe you could come behind me and put some dots on there, cross some T's for me. But go ahead on, my brother.
What with me, I speak on mine. I mean, I think I had a different procrastination, different way. I'm very intentional when I do something. But my problem was I try to do too many things. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, and I'm going back and forth, you know what I'm saying, questioning myself, whatever. It wasn't the point that I didn't do the things, it's just the point I didn't know. You know, the point that I can look at my past, like I was a kid, I studied for a test, but I didn't know how to study. You know what I'm saying? I did the things, but I just didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't fearful to do them, but I think I would overload myself trying to be to the point that I'm gonna burn out. Like Vince say, when we have our competition, I'm going. Like you said, we go in the gym. I went from 5 days. I mean, 3 to 4 days. Now I'm going 7 days straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all this extra stuff that wears me down. That I don't get to the prize. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I had the fear part. It was the part, like I said, I didn't know, or if I did know, I would just go out and just burn myself out like that. But I was very intentional when I knew what I wanted to do, even though I was going to do it. I know that happened to me when I was a kid, and the show, my mom did a show, The Wiz, and I told that story. She dressed me up like a lion, and I wouldn't do it. I just could not get myself to do it. Right when I got done, and I was, because I froze. And when I got done, I said I would never, never let nothing stop me again from trying something. So you know what I'm saying? I'm very, and I think sometimes I'm so intentional, it drives people crazy. My wife said that, both of my wife, my ex and Selena and my wife, I'm very intentional about things. I think I irritates other people because I want to get on top of it. You know, I never had, like Vince said, the vision board, like him saying something like that. I wish I had that. You know what I'm saying? I would keep stuff in my head. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do. But if I had the vision board, write the vision down, doing that stuff and all that, that wouldn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? And I probably wouldn't do it. You know, I procrastinate on it. But when I hear people do those things, I commend them. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. I either gonna do it or I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I wish that what he just said, I wish I could get aboard and write all those things down and do all those things. But if I did that, I would procrastinate. That's too
Yeah.
much for me. So I can't do those things. You know what I'm saying? With me. Not saying that his way that works for him. But if I was to, it would never get done. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do those things to myself. But I do be wishing I could. I wish I had that ability to do those things. And I'm not saying I can't, but I just guess I choose not to do it because I don't want to, stop. Because I don't like failing at things. I don't like stopping at things. And you know what I'm saying? So that irritates me more than anything. So with me, I think my procrastination is different. I think I do too much, and then when I pour in too much, I'm trying to catch up, and then I'm going back and forth. That's what my wife would tell me, like, dude, you wishy washy. Make a decision, stick with that, stop going all over the place. So that would be my way of procrastinating, I would say.
But
So,
see,
Keith, let me ask you a question. So you say you want to do it. So, what's stopping you from doing the vision board, other than the eyesight issue? Like, what's stopping you? Because you and I always like to challenge each other, and we like to check each other, right? So, I'm saying I'm hearing some procrastination on that by you not wanting to do it.
No, 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 no. Like I said, not the point that me getting the board, writing it down, checking and all that. I got it, and I know you said, but I keep it right here, right here. I already know what I want to do. I already, like I said, I get up for me, my way, like I said, I said the right way. That's why I get up early in the morning. I'm always constantly going over. I get that quiet time to myself. I'm always going like day. I really do live that day by day. You know what I'm saying? So every day I'm getting that morning, I'm checking what I didn't mark off in my mind and what I did, that vision that I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do this. I didn't get that done. I need to get better with that. I'm with the Most High. So that's my book. But getting it and writing it down, And doing that right there, I think I'm just saying with me, I will fall off with that. You know what I'm saying? I will fall off, and I'm not saying nothing wrong. Like I said again, it might be procrastination. I don't, but like I said, I got the board. I went got the board. My wife got the board. We bought all those vision boards. You know what I'm saying? I got the magazines. We're gonna do that, but I just like I didn't even get no farther than that. I didn't get no farther than that on that part right there. But like I said, if I put a goal down and say what I want to do, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, even more that I can't see, I gotta do it right away. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta do it. I gotta get it done. Good.
Here's the thing I want to say, Vincent, then you please follow up behind me. Here's the thing I want to say to the folks who tuning in. Is this your first time tuning in, friends? This is the world premiere Word on the Streets. We come on every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we welcome you to come in, join us in the chat room. We will answer your questions, and we'll take it back and forth with you and what have you. We like to send a shout out to Ladiana in the chat room already blowing us up. Thank you for tuning in, Ladiana. But I want to say is that as I was saying in my opening conversation, following up on Vincent, friends, the beautiful thing about facing your fears is that so many wonderful things grow out of it. Procrastination diminishes little by little, and new growth in your character grows step by step. See, it's a process. uh, Vincent laid out these skills pattern that he have right now, but I haven't known him all my life. He wasn't born with those set of skill patterns. I personally believe we never had this conversation, but it grew out of him facing procrastination, facing fear. And when you face things, it's sort of like a plant. It blooms, you grow. And when you grow, I've always knew in my heart of heart, gentlemen, that knowledge is no good unless it's shared. So as he picked up new knowledge, new technique, he said, wow, this worked. This working for me. I got to share this with someone. So he shared it with his significant other, shared it with his son. And chances are he shared it with the young kids that he coached. Go ahead on, Vincent.
No, if I could add, I was writing some stuff down, because sometimes I don't mean to be rude and kind of looking off camera, but I like to write stuff down while other people are talking because I don't want to just jump in. I like to see, I like to say procrastination can also be, we use it like a check engine light. I'm guilty of that, right? How many times have we had that check engine light on in the car and it's like, all right, but we wait the last minute, right? No, it's due at the end of the month. All right, let's get it the last day, right? And it's like, we try to tell our children, hey, let's not procrastinate. Our children are going to mimic what they see, right?
Yeah.
We're the blueprint for them.
Yep.
So I've had to catch myself with the help of my children and other people calling me out, right? Sometimes people are your mirror and you don't like what you see. But again, I procrastinated on some things and then I'll get mad because I'll see someone else benefiting from it from a financial standpoint because I'm like, I thought of that idea. I've been having it, as we talked about earlier, extraordinary, right before we went on about how stuff is birthed in us, right? When an idea is birthed in us, it's not meant to stay there forever, right? It says from a biblical aspect, and I could be wrong in how I'm kind of wording it, but sometimes you have a gift and it's like if it's not used properly, it may be given to somebody else, right? So a lot of the times I've seen myself uh, have some ideas, and now we want to put it on technology and say, hey, they're listening, and we're getting all these ads and stuff now, and it's like now I'm almost afraid, and I want to go like a mobster movie and turn on the music, and then talk about the idea so I can funnel it out, right? But for me, it's just I've had to take notice on again when I said sometimes we lie to ourselves more than anybody, right? Because of that fear, But I've had some ideas, and my late deceased stepfather, told me a while back, hey, let's do a poor man's patent, right? I don't know if y'all have ever heard that, where you come up with an idea, you write it down, you put it, and you mail it to yourself in a sealed envelope, dated, and you don't open it, right?
Yes,
So those are some ideas back that I was, learning 10, 20, 30 years ago. And I'm like, I'm sitting up there and I'm watching stuff happen on ideas that I had because I procrastinated. Again, we all come up with good ideas, but sometimes you just don't want to do the work and you want it to just happen like that. And it's like, I think a lot of the times the procrastination extends itself because we're thinking about the process that it's going to take to get done what we want to get done,
that's
right?
right. That's
So
right.
for me, I have to, take it to the shop, that check engine light. We got to go and get, guys of our age, right? We have to go have more physicals, right? That old myths about black men don't want to go see the doctor, and we procrastinate till it's too late, and it's like, oh well, if we'd gone, we could have caught something a little bit sooner, right? So that's why I said it's a wide range of procrastination and how it can really go across, but you just got to have the right team of people around you. And as Keith said, you got to get your mind right. Sometimes it's easier said than done, which is why you got to surround yourself around the individuals that can
You
spark
go.
you up and help feed you.
That's absolutely right. That being said, Fletcher, you want to add to that? How can we help someone who's out there listening right now? And by the way, out there listening, we like to say hello and a shout out to Matthew Oliver. Tune in. Thank you so much for tuning in to the world premiere Word on the Street, Mr. Oliver. And make no mistake, Mr. Oliver, we come on live every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. If you haven't already, please subscribe, click like, and share our link with on your social media platform. But Fletcher, how can we help someone else move from this compartment of fear to facing their procrastination and to ultimately moving the ball forward, overcoming, moving forward in their life instead of allowing themselves to stay stuck.
Extraordinary. Like I said, I try to put myself back when I was, like I say, was at that moment. But like now, man, I just overcome it. I just believe it's gonna work. I just do it. Man, me and my brother always say that word intentional. Be intentional. I'm always telling myself, intentional. What does it hurt to try? What's stopping you from moving? You know what I'm saying? Again, for me, getting up in the morning, I'm constantly trying to get myself to get things done. About me being blind is even harder for me.
Mm.
It's even harder to keep me to that. So I got to constantly challenge myself because I can just easily lay in the bed and let the whole day go by. So I gotta challenge myself every day to make myself be doing something. I'm always doing something. It could be something simple to cleaning the cages out of my dog. Taking the dog for a walk. I'm building habits to keep myself doing something. You know what I'm saying? To keep something moving around. So with me, I can't let myself sit still. I'm always trying to be intentional. Because like I said again, writing the goals down, I had to get the vision, seeing what I need to do. So I'm always trying to move forward towards that. So that's with me. I don't know how can I persuade it over to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, when you're down and you're going through something, I know it's hard to hear. Man, it ain't just that easy. No, it's not, but it takes time to get to that point.
Yeah.
But truly you gotta believe it. You gotta believe and say, look, right now I'm here, but tomorrow I'm not. I gotta do something better tomorrow. I'm not gonna be here today. This is where I'm at. I'm dealing with that, but tomorrow I got to move forward. So that's what I do day by day. I'm challenging myself. I tell you all the time about the be fruitful, do multiply, have dominion. So getting up every day, I try to be fruitful. I try to do more and have dominion. You know what I'm saying? Towards what I want, towards the vision, towards what the Most High got for me. That's what I try to do. And then I got to add my family to it. You know what I'm saying? Challenging them, like Vince say, our children are watching us. Matter of fact, our wives, our spouses is watching us. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, when I was doing stuff, my wife told me that you wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? Now how can she follow me if I'm being wishy-washy? You know what I'm saying? So I had to check myself on things like that. So like I said, they seeing, they hearing, and they touch, and they touching it. So That's what I work on daily. Because, like you said, not just you're not just doing it for yourself. People are watching you. Your children and other people watching. Like I said, you go to the gym, and man, if I don't show up, like just say I'm becoming the gym 3 days a week, man. If I don't show up them 3 days, you come back next week. Somebody in this know that. Hey, man, where you been? No, I ain't seen you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna say something to you. So keeping myself and just feeding off each other to keep yourself going. Just like you said, extraordinary. You being here showing up on Thursday. When I show up on Thursday on time at 7:30, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Been hold accountable. So the accountability is key too. And I still ain't made it on time on Facebook. I have different times, but just being on time with you is accountability. So being around the right people helps. I say that. Being around and listening, humbling yourself and seeing somebody else seeing that you're doing something that can help and can improve you. So having the right people around you, I think that'd be a big key too. And listening.
Hey, y'all, and for y'all that don't understand when we talk about the procrastination aspect, so you got to understand. I've been knowing Keith for what, at least 15 years, right,
Yeah,
Keith?
yeah.
And the first couple of years was just interaction, just by sight, not really, saying a whole lot to anything to anybody. So, Keith, we got to give some insight to the audience when we talk about this procrastination. Let's get some insight on your vision about how much, if you don't mind me asking, about how much of your vision, and the reason why I'm asking you this, so
Mhm.
work with me. How much
Look,
of your vision, what percentage do you have left?
well, I don't know, but I can see light in my this eye can't see anything, but I see like light and shape in my right eye.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
asked that because I want to share with the audience when we talk about procrastination. So you got a weight set behind you, right?
Hmm.
But that's not stopping you from going to the gym. So I want people to get this picture. Keith walks to the gym from his house, and the gym is about what, 2 miles away,
Two
Keith?
miles away. Yep. Yeah, I'm back.
Two
Yep.
miles away. So when we have someone that is almost legally blind and doesn't really see a whole lot, can't really see, but just light. I asked Keith one day, I said, "Do you need a ride?" He said, "No." And I'm like, "How do you get there?" And it's like just over a period of time. Again, I don't know how Keith has done it. Maybe because certain senses have gotten stronger. But Keith, can you share with us
Yes.
what keeps you from procrastinating on not going to the gym? I mean, staying home, right? Because you can
Yeah.
easily stay home, right?
Yeah.
But you walk 2 miles on busy streets through the neighborhoods. Thankfully, it's a smooth patch to where it's not a lot of traffic and there's some sidewalks, but it takes 2 miles for you to get there. Can you walk us through that?
Well, well, the first thing I had a I'm gonna just get. I know I'm gonna go. I was going to the vet. I mean, to the hospital one day, and the lady. I came up to the counter and I had a pump. She said, "Well, you can go through the door." And the lady said, "But your wife can't go with you." And I said, "Well, I'm blind." She said, "You don't look blind." And I said, "Well, how do a blind man look?" You know what I'm saying? I laughed about that. So the first thing is my grandfather was blind. And so people ask me all the time, man, how can you do this? My grandfather was blind. I'm talking about he couldn't see nothing. I'm talking about darkness. You know what I'm saying? And he took care of all his grandkids. He fed us. He washed. He gave us baths. He walked out the house. He would walk out the house and walk to the church. He knew his steps and everything. So that's the first right there. That's the blind man I seen that did these things. So that was it. So when I walked to the gym, uh, I done fell down. I done busted my toes. I done hit the curb. I done tripped down, multiple times. I done walked into the fence and hit my face. It swelled my face up. I done got lost. I got turned around multiple times trying to find my way. But I didn't stop. I kept on going. I had to call my wife, come get me. I don't know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Just I was here, what I'm saying, put the locator on, and come get me. So that's what I just kept going because my grandfather told me something one time before. He said, "Boy, y'all got two good eyes and I got none, and I run circles around you. That's it. I can't stop." And then what you said, my boys are watching me. You know what I'm saying? My wife is watching me. People watching me. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I mean, one time I got lost. I went outside at night and I wanted to walk. I was testing my sight, testing my footsteps, and I got lost real bad. My son came behind me, found me, said, "Daddy, what's wrong with you? Why would you go out at night?" And I told him, I said, "Because I can." I can. That's it. I'm not jumping in the bed of alligators. I'm not jumping swimming with no sharks, man. I'm just walking naturally, you know what I'm saying? And I'm okay. But I need this for me, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. I ain't trying to I just need that to have that like you said, I can stay at home, I can get a ride there. You know, people all the time stop. Hey man, you need a ride or big Jim. I'm like, nah, Vince, I say, nah, I don't want to ride. You know, I wanna walk. I want to be that, you know what I'm saying, person. Some people think it's ego. It's not ego. I just want to do that for me. I need to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I can. And like I said, even more and more, it make me, like you say, it make me got to do something. I got to try something. I go on vacation. Hey, we got to get on this. We got to do this. You know what I'm saying? So not to let me be that person that procrastinates or let something stop me. Because again, the Most High told me I can do it. You know, and my grandfather showed me I can do it. He showed me and he showed me back then when it was nothing. There was no help. All he had was a wooden cane. You know what I'm saying? That's all he had, man. And he cooked breakfast for us. He wake up in the morning. We wake up in the morning with an egg and a wing in our hands. Sleep, man. He gave us. It was just so, man. That's it. Him. It's him and the Most High. Them two right there. He let me before I went blind. He knew. You know what I'm saying? The wound. He knew. He put me with the right person with the right family. Said you're gonna need this blind man because you're gonna be blind one day, and you need to conduct yourself a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So I act according to that. That's it.
Now
Hey,
here's go right ahead. Go right ahead.
let me read this real quick. So, what the definition of procrastination is the act of postponing, delaying, or putting off, especially habitually or intentionally.
Mm,
Habitually or intentionally. This goes into what I said about that old quote that we lie to ourselves more than anybody, and then it starts manifesting into other people, right? You know,
that's
you
true.
hear people that's like, "Oh man, that dude always talking about something." Like,
Yep.
we've been guilty of either being on both sides of that. We've either judged people in a joking fashion, saying that, or either we've been on the other side of the coin of treating life like a check engine light, waiting until the last minute to do something. And again, power manifestation, power words, power relationships. You know, you got to put yourself around people that can lift you up, help you to get to where you need to get to along
It,
your journey, right? Procrastination is deadly though.
it does.
It is a bad thing to be a part of, right? And again, I'm not going to sit up here and be a hypocrite. There's some stuff I'm probably procrastinating on, even though I had this list. No, it doesn't. It's not 100% done on a daily basis, right? I'm getting better each day. So
But let me
So
say this
here,
right there. Sean, I'm sorry.
no, go right ahead.
Procrastination so bad that, like you say, you start lying to you. You done lied to yourself so much that now you believe that lie. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what Vince is saying. You done told yourself you're gonna do something over and over, and you continue to not do it, and you just fall into that, and it become a continuous loop. And now you done lied about everything. Like you say, other people that seen you lie, they call you on lie, and that makes it even more that you lie to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that puts you even deeper. You think like, man, that ain't gonna work for me. Oh, I ain't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it's deadly. Procrastination is. I tell my kids that. Be intentional. Procrastination is a deadly thing, man, that will have you stuck for real. Go ahead, Sean. Now,
And folks, if this is your first time tuning in, you don't you don't want to miss an episode of world premiere Word on the Streets because I assure you that what we're talking about it resonates with you somewhere, some area, some part of your life. If it's not procrastination, it's fear, it's something. And and we're relatable because check it out, friends. All three of us are divorced men, which is contrary to what you will read in the news. We know what the news reports say about divorced men, especially African American divorced men, where they usually end up. But it doesn't have to be that way. The narrative doesn't have to be what they say. The narrative can be what you created to say. So, for the first half of this show, friends, just to give you a review, we talked about having a vision board. We talked about journaling. We talked about surrounding yourself with good people, people that would help you hold yourself accountable, accountability. We talked about faith and fear, and we talked about who's watching you, your kids, your wife, your neighbor. If any of these things resonate with you, you don't want to miss part two of our show. And thank y'all for tuning in to the world premiere, Word on the Streets.
Are you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or lost in life's chaos? Whether it's a career shift, personal struggle, or just a sense of drifting, you're not alone. Introducing Uncertainty to Clarity, your transformational guide through life's toughest seasons. In this powerful ebook, you'll learn how to navigate fear and doubt, reconnect with your purpose, and build real confidence even when the path ahead isn't clear. Packed with practical tools, heartfelt insights, and real-life strategies. This isn't just a read, it's a roadmap. Clarity is closer than you think. Download Uncertainty to Clarity today and take the first step toward the life you were meant to live.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it, because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
I want to share with you my top 3 tips for dealing with fear, internal and external. Because one of the things that I noticed is that fear can be adopted. There are times when I woke up in the morning and I was not afraid. And by the time I went to bed that night, I had all kinds of stuff I was worrying about. I didn't realize that a lot of the worries that I had by the time I went to bed were handed to me through a conversation, through the news, through me watching someone else's life or someone else's journey. So listen, let me give you 3 things that may not eliminate every form of fear that you encounter, but it definitely can minimize it. Number 1, talk about whatever that fear is. Don't just allow it to sit there, but step into it. But step into it with facts, not just emotion. Information and logic definitely surpasses emotion. Emotion is necessary, but talk about it with logic and fact, not just opinion, not just perception, but also fact. So number 1, step into the fear. Don't back away from it. Don't run away from it. Don't try to dodge it. Step right into it. You are courageous enough to get to the other side. Turn your fear into your fuel. Oh, I have done this so many times. Like, fear is not a bad thing. We have a relationship with fear as if fear is designed to paralyze us, or fear is designed to stop us, or fear is designed to immobilize us or make us worry. Fear can be fuel. I've done some of my biggest things in my life because I was afraid if I sat down, what would happen? I was also fearful to do it. You don't have to be courageous when you leap. You just got to have a little courage blended with the fear. Like, man, when you get that. So turn your fear into your fuel. And how do you do that? You look at, how can this moment help me? So you can turn your fear into your fuel. And number 3, remember that this is just a season. Don't make a season a lifetime. If you're going through a difficult moment, a fearful moment, a down moment, then do just that. Go through it. Now, you may have to stop for a moment and catch your breath, but it's not a red light. It's just a stop sign. Stop, catch your breath. Remember, it's just a season, and keep going.
Yeah, and that right there. A lot of people get stuck in season and they hold on to where they are. They hold on to the struggle They hold on to the devastation of what just happened to them or whatever is currently happening. And instead of allowing it to just be a season, something we can grow from, learn from, and move forward, we tend to hold on to the devastation longer than it was meant to be held on to. And that last point really resonated with me because things happen in our life to help us grow. But so often when things happen to us, sadly, we adopt what happened to us as if it is us. And that is not true. And the reason why we adapt this bad report is because we have been born into a society that has adopted more negative than positive reviews of ourselves. So that when we go through a devastation, when we go through challenges in our life, and we don't succeed in that moment, we faint, we give up. This next point I'm about to share with you is very important. So you really need to pull up closer, write down what I'm getting ready to say, because this will help you get unstuck. When you don't achieve as something you're striving at, or things go south instead of north for you, the brain, the dopamine in your brain, it drops. And what happens? The dopamine drop because the dopamine is designed. See, we were created with things, certain part of our chemicals in our body was already created inside of us. So when the dopamine drop, it's we lose hope. And but the thing is, friends, this was so important. The thing that neuroscience have found out about dopamine, that all you have to do is give yourself some small victory. You know, in the good books, it said that if we had faith the size of a mustard seed, we can move mountains. The dopamine in our brain is sort of that way, in the sense that when your momentum has dropped, what you need to do then to move forward, to get back up again, to go forward again, to feel like a winner again, is to set goals, achievable goals that you can achieve. And they don't have to be monumental goals. They don't have to be extraordinary goals. They just have to be a goal that you can achieve. And automatically, chemically, your brain, the dopamine in your brain will take that achievement and it will celebrate it as though you had just won an Oscar. It will send signals to the rest of your brain cells and let them know you're back in business. It's just phenomenal the way that our brain has been constructed by the creator. So the next time you're feeling lousy, you're feeling like a loser, do something. Organize your desk. If washing your car is something that you can get started on and complete it, wash your car, complete it. Cut your grass, complete it. Do something that you can do and complete, and watch what it does to the dopamine inside your brain. And in return, the dopamine will send signal throughout your body, and it would get you out of that rut feeling that you're feeling. Go ahead on, anybody.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. I started laughing when you started saying that because again, as I was writing, whenever earlier, I had like 3 points, 3 or 4 separate points, and one of them was similar to what you just said. I put on here: practice or do small things and celebrate those wins. And if it doesn't work, don't stop, don't give up. I once heard One of my coaches told me a while back, he said, you set the bar too low because when you hit it, you really think you accomplished something.
Hmm.
So when you said, you got to make some realistic goals, I don't think and I can pick that apart, right? And I can be like, well, wait a minute. We just talked about, trying to set some small goals, celebrating those victories to where we can get some momentum, to where we can stop the procrastination one victory at a time, right? So I don't think it's anything wrong with what he said, but sometimes it is true. Sometimes we miss the mark because we aim so low and we hit it, and we really think we really accomplished something when we were made for bigger and greater things, right? So I was laughing again when you said that. One other thing I said was when the lady was talking, I forgot her name, extraordinaire.
Yes, Nichols.
Sometimes we're born into certain things, right? And I'm not taking that to slap on any family members, right? Sometimes we have trauma from hearing certain things throughout your upbringing to where
That's
it's
right.
like it's a mindset, and it's of like, okay, this is what we've heard all the time, so this is what it's supposed to look like. Sometimes, and we have to separate ourselves from environments, from people, from family, from friends, to separate ourselves from the noise and the negativity, because I understand that sometimes it's not intended for everyone to take that journey with us, right? So it may take a little bit longer for us to get there because they're not pouring into us, or there's like a negative mindset, and it's like, you have, and I'm kind of reading off my sheet here. I said some of us have that poverty mindset, and it's being handed down through trauma and negativity. We got to separate ourselves from certain people and environments to get forward momentum, right? So it's kind of like what you said, extraordinaire,
Yes.
and what the other lady said. Sometimes you're born into it, and again, not necessarily a negative thing from parents or anything like that, but it's like sometimes when things evolve, things change, right? So I give you some. When I started trading, Keith didn't really know much about trading, right? And I was talking about the stocks, and I was talking about this, and I was talking to my mom about trading, and she was like, she's 70 something, right? She doesn't know much about trading. There's money in trading if you do it correctly, but there's also a downward spiral that can take place if you do it incorrectly. But sometimes the older individuals don't know about how much trading can you can be profitable from. So I've had to kind of slowly educate my mom and say, look, it's happened. I've been learning. I've been doing this for the last couple of years. It's profitable. There's money to be made. And it's like, some people just have their mindset of, no, my grandfather would hide money under his mattress, in the walls, and things of that nature. And I know y'all can attest to that, right? Why? Because of the banking system back in the old days, right? They didn't trust them, right? Again, the procrastination of why should I invest? Our money's gonna get stolen, right? So I just kind of took that five different ways. So I apologize.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff going on, Fletcher.
No, no, but like I'm still get on that trading thing. Like Vince, right when he told me about trading, but before that, my and I say people influence you a lot. My brother told me don't ever trade. That's gambling. Now, when he told me, I never went and looked at it on my own. Never went try to research it. I didn't even know what trading was. I just heard him say that, and then I'm thinking he a finance guy. And when Vince started talking to me about trading, and I first thing I said, "Oh no, that's gambling. I don't want to do it." But we tend to, like you say, the people that be wrong will guide us, without us going and look at our own self, and start reading for ourselves. So that fear, see, that can be caused by another person. Fear can be caused by somebody else. Fear can be now. He said, "Hey man, why don't you go look at this?" Now okay, I'm gonna go look. I'm procrastinating. I'm seeing it, but I'm not putting too much interest in it. I'm hearing them. It sounds good, but I'm not moving like I could to be doing my own research to find out, does it really make money? Does it really is it really gambling? How does it make sense for me? You know what I'm saying? Then when you start learning risk tolerance, what is your risk tolerance? What do trading dealing with? You're dealing with the volatile of the market. That's when it's up and it was down. These different things that when he was telling me then, I had no idea until now. When I got past that fear, I got past the fear of losing money. I started understanding how things work. The lack of knowledge, I had no understanding. I got understanding. Now it makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So again, we back to that fear aspect of things of not knowing, not understanding. That was me. If I didn't know, I'm saying I ain't trying. You know what I'm saying? But when you start understanding and having knowledge, that open up doors, that'll help you stop procrastinating. Because like you said, we thinking the worst when we stop to go do something. Oh, it's gonna take this. Why am I got then they gonna be saying we trying to fill in the blanks and that ain't even happened yet. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we done lied to ourselves. We don't think we deserve it. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna get. So I think that's a lot entails with that. That we don't think we gonna get it, but it just take time to sit there and go do it. Walk into it. That's what I try to do now. I try to walk into everything. I really truly believe, like I said, we'll put with certain families, but the most High also put people in your lives to God steer you away. You know what I'm saying? He also put people around you to say, hey, you don't have to stay like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, here's an opportunity for you. But sometimes we just so closed minded. We so stuck in our ways, like I say, stiff necked, that we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't. But the movement for me when I was reading the Bible and God told Abraham to leave his family and friends. You know what I'm saying? He said, because you know what I'm saying, they see you as one way, they're not gonna see you different. You need to leave them and go build you something somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And he took Lot with him, his family member. That's what I love. Our family members can be the cause of us not to procrastinate on things because we so locked in a certain type of way. We won't even try anything. We fear for things. We fear the unknown. We fear that I'm gonna lose this. So when you start to be know yourself and really trust in the process, remember, so they say processing. Start trusting it. Go read for yourself and really learn about it. That would take that fear away, and that'll stop you from procrastinating.
So, Vincent, what are some quick techniques or tips we can share with our audience that they can do to to stop procrastination or to move past procrastination in their life?
Well, I can tell you what's worked for me, and it just happened overnight. Sometimes we had to take some losses, right? And again, sometimes we treat life like that check engine light. We don't want to have to deal with it until the last minute or until it's too late. Uh, I've had to experience that, with one marriage and, just certain business decisions and, things that have happened, right? But again, it takes one step at a time, right? It didn't happen all in one day, right? So for me, it's celebrating those small wins, making some small realistic goals. And again, I want to make the goal small enough to where I can get some victory and some momentum and to where I can go back and look at what I've accomplished, right? I'm a list guy. Like we're sitting here talking and I'm writing stuff and I'll be at work or either whatever and I'll write out how I want to start my day or how I want to accomplish my day. Sometimes I'll write it down and none of that stuff gets accomplished on the list because you got to multitask and do other things. But again, for me, what works for me may not work for everyone, but it's just a suggestion on sometimes we got to get the vision board, right? Sometimes we got to put our dreams up. Sometimes we got to share some things with some people. We got to be mindful who we share stuff with, right? Because sometimes our vision is our vision and what God placed in us, right? And in saying that, sometimes people aren't going to agree with it. I remember Pastor T.D. Jakes saying, sometimes you got dreams so big that it sounds stupid. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? And it's like, again, it's not meant for everyone to
That's
understand,
true.
right? Whether it be family members, whether it be friends, the best example I can give is continuing to show them, even though they may be unaware of this. A lot of people, the procrastination will continue to live if you allow it to, right? So as Keith said, you got to get your mind right. It doesn't happen overnight. One small victory at a time. Again, I'm list driven. I like to check the box. I've accomplished this. You got to surround yourself around positive people that are going to pour into you. Got to be mindful of that as well because people, there's two types of people: people that are going to tell you what you want to hear, and people that tell you what you need to hear. I'd rather have people around me to tell me what I need to hear, right? What I really need to hear, right? Sometimes I don't want to hear it, but it's like, okay, there's no growth in comfort, right? I have to get uncomfortable sometimes. And I think another reason why procrastination lives is because a lot of people are afraid to ask questions
Mm.
or afraid to fail. And it's like there's nothing wrong with failing. There's nothing wrong with asking a question.
It's where the growth is.
It is.
Oftentimes, that's where the growth is. It's in those uncomfortable situations, and
Mhm.
that's the thing. But if we can leave you all with something that you can take home with you and bake it in your oven, friends, this is it. Write 3 things down, just 3. We're not asking you to do 10 things. Vincent Fletcher said it so eloquently well. We all have different things about us. But friends, we also have things similar too, because we're human. We have a lot of differences, and yet at the same time, we have some similarities. You see, the reason why we're going to commit to you holding your right, make your list 3 things and try to accomplish those 3 things on a daily basis. Just 3. Okay, you don't get all 3, you got one of them. Let that one feed that your dopamine, and you will grow strength from there, and you can grow from there. You may be able to grow from there, whereby you have grown all the way up. You say, "Damn, Vincent, I got a vision board. I got a Fletcher, man. I'm walking to the gym. I'm walking. I'm not at the gym, but I'm out of the house. You see, it starts somewhere. What are your 3 things? What are your 3 things? Are you gonna get out? Or are you gonna continue doing what you've always done? That's called insanity, friends. That's not change. That's a conversation. You're gonna keep saying what you've always said. This thing we're talking about and breaking the chain from procrastination and fear is you pushing the envelope and breaking these chains from you. That comes from consistency. More importantly, it comes from you taking action.
That's right. That's right. Because we're our own worst enemy.
Talk to me.
We're our own worst enemy at times. Keith, you got anything on it?
I'm gonna tell you like the small things. I've been a person that, man, when I learned, for me, was like I said, somebody couldn't tell. Like, I disagree with y'all saying don't tell people. I'm not saying that don't tell people, but my part, I'm very competitive. I need somebody to tell me I can't do it. I think the biggest thing for me, uh, I mean, one time I said, and I was living here, and I said I'm gonna become a trainer. I'm gonna start training people to work out. And so many people laughed at me. My friends, my own dad, my dad was the main one. Boy, you ain't talking about you gonna work out train. He said it to me, man, and it just fueled my fire, man. And I said I'm gonna start working out, and I start working out, then people start coming. I start training people, and I'm training different people, and then I'm getting paid for training people. I'm going to different jail. People, the crazy thing about it, I'm like, people are paying me to train, and I'm being who I want to be. I can be mean, experienced, and curse, and they still was coming. They still would let me just. My wife said they crazy. I ain't no way I didn't let you talk to me like that, but they would let me be mean, and but I had all that going. It still didn't mean until one day my daddy. I was at his house, and he said, "Boy, you're looking good. I want to ask you a question. How can I get my arms?" That was it right there. When he asked me, man, like to ask me to help him, show him something, man. That was it for me. And
Got him.
yeah,
Got
got,
him.
what I'm saying, got him, and like that was it. I could have listened to them and said, you know what, you right. I'm gonna stop. That was it for me. I was like, and I realized that I'm like, man, I don't complete nothing. When I completed that and I went out there and did that, man, that was it for me. And I've been intentional ever since, for real, because I see the power of it, the power of getting past your fear. The power of waiting on the other side for you. You know what I'm saying? And people, yes, you're gonna fail. Yes, you're gonna make mistakes. How you gonna figure something? How you gonna do right with something that you don't have no idea of? This is something brand new to you. Yes, you're gonna be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Yes, people gonna doubt you. That's all in the journey.
For sure.
All that man make, all that gumbo we call it, all the chicken and the sausage and the roux and all that stuff, the process, that's all in the process. But that's what
Yeah.
worthwhile. When you get to the end, the other side, all the stuff, the doubt and all that, that what made it feel so good. If you didn't have that, it wouldn't mean nothing to accomplish nothing. It wouldn't mean nothing to go and do it. But you need all that right there to say, man, I did that. I really did that. People doubted me. I doubted myself. I even doubted myself. Plenty of times I wanted to stop, and I kept going.
See, I like whenever how Keith said, sorry, Keith,
Hey, no way.
I like how he stated that and he said what works for him, right? Because again, a lot of people have different people operate differently, right? Like some people want that chip on their shoulder. Like Keith said,
Yeah.
I want someone to tell me that I can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's not made like Keith, right? Sometimes you have to understand people. You have to observe and see how to talk to people, right? Like what's that spark that really drives someone, right?
Right.
And again, he said, like you hear about folks getting drafted in certain rounds and this and that. And it's like, okay, they get tattoos of like chips on their shoulder, right? Because now they got a chip on their shoulder, right?
Mhm.
Whatever it takes to get you out of your fear, right? Whatever it takes to
Yeah.
get you to
Whatever
stop
it takes.
procrastinating, you got to do whatever it takes, right? There is no right or wrong method, right?
That's right. That's
Again,
right.
I think the wrong method is not trying.
Not trying it out.
Wrong method is
Not,
doing nothing.
that's the wrong method.
The
Doing
wrong
nothing.
method is doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Unanimous agreement. The wrong method is
Say what?
doing nothing.
Let me tell you the truth. Man. When I train people, that's what I used to tell them. I'm not a trainer for everybody. The
Mhm.
type of trainer I am, it doesn't work for everybody. You see what I'm saying? So, like you said, I said it all the time. Even what I do might be different, but you know what I'm saying? What you do will be different, but just do something. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just do. If it take you to get out the bed, like I hate people say I'm not a morning person. So if you ain't no morning person, at least once a week, get up. Try to get up early. You know what I'm saying?
And this is why I hate when they say that, Keith, because they've already messed up because they're saying
They
I'm not a
already
morning
said it.
person. So
Yep.
you already messing up because
You
you're
already
already
messing up.
stating what you're not. And I'm like, no, I bet if you had to get $1 million every day
You
for the
would get
next
up.
30 days, you would be a morning person, right?
I'm an any person. I'm any. You know what I'm saying? I can do it at any time. You need if something need to be done, I can do it at any time, man. So I hate to hear that. Yeah, to put that. Like you say, once you put that on that mark on yourself, you did yourself injustice right there. You see what
We're
I'm saying?
speaking curses over ourselves and don't even know it.
You don't even know what
Right.
you're doing to yourself. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And basically what we are doing, what people do it unawarely, not really knowing that they are limiting themselves. They are
Yeah.
telling their subconscious mind, their brain, they limiting themselves, what
Yep.
they can do and what they can't do. And that's not the whole truth.
Yeah.
The truth is, it's possible for you to do that which you think you cannot do.
Mhm.
But you got to believe that. And then
Exactly.
you got to gather the information and then you have to take action on the information that you gathered. The trouble is, it is we living in a world, in a society that is so easy to fall into the trap of saying I can't do, and then you fit in with 80% of the people. You become a duck instead of an eagle. And there's always a lot of members who will support you in the pond where the ducks live. You always can have people that can help you feel good about not moving forward because
Yeah.
they aren't moving forward. So you have to be careful. Once again, going back to who you're surrounding yourself with.
Extraordinary. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you think an eagle would be as great as it was if it hung around pigeons?
Mhm.
Think about that. I don't think an eagle would soar. If an eagle just stayed on the ground, and it would never get the dominance that it has just staying in a certain area, right? Sometimes we got to move around. Sometimes we got to
Okay.
get around different people, right?
Yeah. That's
Sometimes
it.
we got to, I don't think the eagle just became an eagle just off like that and probably
No.
fell. took some adversity, got tougher, got
I
stronger.
think I think the adversity what makes the eagle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because they be on the highest peak, the highest edge. You know what I'm saying? And they got
Yeah,
to jump off. They make the
right.
pair make them fall
And
off
see,
wings.
right. And adversity what makes us. See,
Yeah,
when we go through adversity, like I said, there's a group that will help you feel comfortable, not, just cuddle you. And that's good. You need that when you're broken and you're hurting. You need to be cuddled. In other words, you need to heal, but heal to a point where you're strong enough to try it again and
So
over.
Jordan, I got a quick. Let me ask you something. So we like Keith and I are often, and I don't know yours what you do, right? So I can only speak for me and Keith from like a training aspect. Just hearing about what you said about the adversity, right? To us, the adversity is the weights that we lift, right? Because once you tear that muscle down, what's going to happen? It gets stronger.
That's right.
That's the adversity. The adversity makes us stronger. But some in the era that we're in right now, it's not as what it used to be back in the day. Some may say we're in a softer society right now, right?
yeah,
Because there's less adversity. Like there's time out as opposed to the belt that we got. There was no timeout. The timeout for me was when I got my butt whooped and my crying in the corner afterwards. That was my timeout, right? So again, the adversity that we're talking about is basically the resistance and the muscle tearing down certain elements of our bodies or our mindset that has to be torn down and it has to start back up and it's going to get stronger and it's going to get stronger and it's going to get stronger. You're getting more reps, you're getting more stamina. Oh, I just got this victory. Oh, I can check this off the list, check this off the vision board. I can call Keith, call extraordinaire. Hey, man, I finally got through with what I said. I wrote this book. I wrote that poem. I did this, right? We have to celebrate those small wins, right? And again, sometimes we're not going to win, but that's okay.
That's right.
We got to go back to the drawing board and just learn how to do it better.
That's right. So, sometimes you're not gonna win, and it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt.
Even when I lose, I win. That's my
That's
mindset.
right.
That's
That's
my
right.
mindset.
yeah.
And the thing
You
about
heard
it
it say it was
too,
yeah.
but hey, gentlemen, here's the thing about it too. We need to speak on this. We need to say it because somebody needs to hear this. You have to overcome being embarrassed.
Mm.
I mean, embarrassment can hold you back. I don't want to do this because I don't want to get embarrassed. Y'all feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
Sometimes embarrassment will hold people back from doing things because they don't want to get embarrassed.
That's it.
Anybody ever felt that?
Mm.
I know I have. There's a lot of things that I didn't want to do because either I was too ashamed or I was embarrassed or I thought I was too little, right? One of the things I've told my sons when I was coaching them and any other player that I've coached, I said, don't do my job for me. Don't get out there. Like I can walk on the field right now and I can tell you who someone's best player is just by their body language. Like people carry themselves in a different way, right? You might get one or two sleepers in there that falls under the radar, but for the majority of the time, we got people. Like I said, my mentality is even when I lose, I win. I could be playing one of my sons, playing a sport or whatever. I could be down 10-0. That's never happened. But I could be down a certain point. In my mindset, even if I lost, I may have lost the game. But
That's
my
right. That's what I was about to say too.
but
It's
hold
not,
up,
it's
hold up.
not predicated on you winning the game. It's
But
predicated on the fact that you improved in this particular area that you was working on.
and it goes a little bit further than that. If I'm playing one of my sons, I'm like, I lost the game, but I got to spend more time with you.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Again,
That's
it's a
true.
mindset of a creativity of what do you use to get your mind getting used to winning, getting used to accomplishing, getting used to stepping out of fear.
Listen to this. Hey, brother, this been a fantastic show. We certainly hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Fletcher, you're quiet over there. Give us some golden words, man, before we ride out of here.
Oh, no, man, I was enjoying what y'all was saying. Hey, I'm right on my head.
That was some good stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Man, that was some good stuff.
I was enjoying what y'all was saying, man. I was so deep in the conversation, it wasn't even about me no more. Now you're gonna put me on the spot. Yeah. No,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Like Vince said, I love the competition. I love the game of life now. Once you get started getting understanding, yeah, once you start getting understanding, then man, you got good people around you, and y'all the same. What y'all going on the same road, the same route, same. It's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying. So I can reach out to extraordinaire. We do it all the time. Talk to each other. Me and Vince do it all the time. He can reach out to me. I reach out to him. You know what I'm saying. We got to meet up. Hey, I'm coming by the house. Oh man, we're gonna meet at. You know. So and then another thing, man. What I love about it, it's just the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think we sleep on it. I get excited. Somebody, man, come talk to me or feel that, man, that's exciting me, man. Because I'm saying the person I used to be, nobody didn't want to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had the right advice to give. So
I know I
somebody,
didn't.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
know
what
I
I'm saying.
did.
Opportunity. So it's an opportunity to be able to, and like you say, every day to get better. You know, even with Extraordinaire, I remember one time me and Extraordinaire were talking, and he was talking and he paused. And he was paused, and he came, he repeated what I said. And he said, he asked me, are you done? You know, he started, and I told him, I said, oh man, I got to get that. I got to use that. I got to use that right there. And ever since that day, I mean, my wife, I just sit there and let her finish. I didn't cut. Now, hey, I didn't cut you off when I was talking. I let you finish everything. I asked you what you done. Man, man, do wonders for my communication skills, man, with my wife, with my kids. So we all can learn from everybody, man. Just like that said, the vision board and writing down and doing those things, man, all those things is huge. I just want to tell this quick story, how big the vision board is, how big the vision. My wife, when we first moved into our house, our kitchen, we had a kitchen. I didn't like the kitchen. So my wife found a picture of this, how she wanted the kitchen done. And she taped it over the cabinet, over the stove, over the cabinet. And over the years, you know, the grease and everything and stuff. So we took the pictures down and put it up somewhere. Years go by, you know, we got our kitchen remodeled. Remodeled, anything about it, just buying the stuff. A couple more years passed by, we clean it up. My wife, I find the picture. I put the picture up and I look at it. It's the exact same kitchen. Everything was the same. I called my wife downstairs. I said, baby, come look at this. We never looked at the picture again. I said, look at this, man. So I'm saying that vision, bro, it works. It really works. When now we not just write it down, put it in a picture, man, and put it in your, just taking a picture out of magazine, it will work, man. So imagine if you write the power, if you did that and wrote it down, how powerful that is.
Yeah.
So it does work, man. And working on it every day, small little wins every day. And like I said, man, like I call it war, man. We had war, small little battles, small little wins. You know what I'm saying? Small little losses. But hey, the bigger picture is the war, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Not the whole war. It's not just the little small battle. It's the
Hey,
big.
Keith, I'll piggyback off what you said about those pictures, man, because how many times did I remember one of my cousins, Stephen, we used to be at his house. And as y'all may know, what would we used to look at? The Sears and the J.C. Penney's catalog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we go through the catalog and we say what we want for Christmas, or we say what we want this, and it's the power of manifestation, and it's getting out of that fear of just wanting to do that, right? Like I know. And then how many times have you, as an athlete or as a person, whatever profession you wanted, we would take pictures out of magazines, put them on the wall, and that's what we wanted to be. Or we would take a dream house, and that's what we wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember me. I wanted to play football, but I wasn't going off to college playing football, wearing $1.25. So that was gone. So my sister started modeling, and I was like, okay, she's in New York. She won Miss Black Dallas. She came first runner up in Miss Black Texas. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can model, right? And again, I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know, and then I started, the two individuals that opened the door for me and I took their pictures up. Tyson Beckford, Shamar Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I took those pictures up, and it's like, okay, again, I had to have a vision of what I wanted to go at. And I
Right.
would go to the agencies, right? And I would, look for them to sign me. And it's like, too little. One took the time and said, come here. Go in there, sitting there, and it's like, okay, what do you see all on these comp cards of all these men? One thing I saw was they was cut, abs, shredded. What did I focus on for the next year or two? Arms shredded. Me and my other cousin, Alan, we used to go through a deck of cards and we used to do push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah.
Again, it was things that we were manifesting because we saw visions of what we wanted to do. Alan would tear the VCR up, break it apart, tear it down. Kid's a genius, can do whatever he wants. Spoke Arabic, right? Speaks Arabic. So it's like you got to surround yourself around people that are going to continue to push you
Yeah.
and challenge you to be great and better, because sometimes other people see stuff that we don't see.
Yeah, we don't see. Yes.
Right. That's right. That's right. Hey, folks, tonight been another fantastic evening hanging out with you all on World Premiere Word on the Streets. If y'all enjoyed this kind of content, some real content like this, friends, why don't you hit the subscribe button? That way you will never miss an episode. And anytime we go live, you will be notified. So please do subscribe, hit like, and share us on your social media platform. So from the host here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, thank y'all for tuning in, and we can't wait to be back with you all next Thursday.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of World Premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again, same time, same place, right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.